Hello neighbor, I'm Robert Burns and welcome once again to another edition of Sound Off Louisiana. Today I am honored to have as our special guest Mr. Nathaniel Hearn. He is a candidate in the upcoming election for Mayor President of East Baton Rouge Parish. We're going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself to you, and then we'll have just a couple of quick questions we'd like to ask him. So Mr. Hearn, why don't you take the floor?
Well, thank you, Mr. Burns. I certainly appreciate your time and this opportunity to speak with you and reach out to the public. My name is Nathaniel Hearn, and like Mr. Burns said, I am a candidate for East Baton Rouge Parish Mayor President.
Very good. That was short, succinct, and to the point. Let me bring up just a couple of points, one of which was an article that was published on July the 22nd by the Hayride, and we'll give a link for the Hayride article. And let me scroll down and read to you that section. Now, to give our viewers some background, this was a feature that was put out to introduce the candidacy of Sid Edwards, who is another candidate for mayor. But there's a paragraph in here that says, can he, meaning Sid Edwards, but can he win? Well, there are three other Republican candidates in the race. One, 30-year-old Nathaniel Hearn, appears to be a plant from Sharon Broome, who's intended to siphon St. George votes away from Ted James. Would you care to comment on that?
Absolutely. First, thank you for bringing that article to my attention. That was the first time that I had seen that in print, much less from as far back as July of this year. Second, that is a concern that I've heard numerous times, and I want to be perfectly clear. I find it completely disheartening and disgusting that people think a 30-year-old who's trained for this, who actually cares about his city, doesn't have the drive or willpower to go out and try to dare to change for himself and help those around him. Any allegation that I am a plant from our local or current administration is just false. I'm currently taking the initiative myself to go out and dare to change as a leader leading by example. I don't see, other than the fact that our history in Baton Rouge is so corrupted with cronyism and shady dealings, shall we say, that when I am currently trying to actually go against and change and make a difference in our community and in the problems that we have had that have just kept us on this same, well, path of failure, why somebody would just openly think, oh, he's not different, he's a plant. That is just sickening.
Very good. Well, I'd like to also just bring out, I think he gained considerable notoriety during the presidential debate, which I'm told was the most watched presidential debate in the history of debates. I can't imagine why, but during that debate, you pointed out that one of your opponents in this race, specifically Sid Edwards, whom Scott McKay has very publicly endorsed, has failed to vote in the last 8.5 years. And we will provide the link to the Advocate article where he has admitted that you are not portraying a falsehood, that he in fact has not voted over the last 8.5 years. I believe his best explanation of that was that, well, there are bound to be plenty others that are disenfranchised who have walked away from the whole process. But what are your thoughts about someone who for 8.5 years, who obviously did not vote for Donald Trump, as you point out in your ad, did not vote for him in 16 and 20, also did not vote against Sharon Weston Broome in 16 and 20. I have no doubt he's a great football coach, and I'm a big football fan. And he touts analogies to football in every presentation that I've seen so far. But what are your thoughts about the fact that for 8.5 years he chose not to participate in one of our most sacred rights that people have gone and lost their lives for in this country?
Absolutely. First, I think I sum it up pretty succinctly in my ad. If you don't practice, you can't play. Also in that same article, they mention how many times Mayor President Sharon Weston Broome and Mr. Ted James have voted since 1999. I couldn't be voting since 1999. I didn't turn 18 until, well, 2012. So, but still being active in the community, still being involved, still caring about politics, I've practiced to be here.
I want to thank you for being a guest. You have the floor for any concluding remarks that you'd like to make. So I want to thank you for agreeing to have this little interview with us. I found it very insightful. I hope our viewers will as well. And let you have any concluding remarks you'd like to make.
Thank you very much. And most of all, Mr. Burns, I definitely want to thank you for your time, and for anybody watching this, if you feel so inclined, please give me your vote and support.
Well, thank you for appearing, and so thank you once again. And remember, the all-important thing, go out and vote on November, is it the 4th? I believe it's the 4th, but whatever date it is, November the 4th.
November 5th, my 31st birthday.
Well, my goodness, and we didn't plan this, by the way, folks, so this is an ad lib, but November the 5th, okay, which just so happens to be Mr. Hearn's 31st birthday. Thank you once again, and we look forward to seeing you once again at our next Sound Off Louisiana feature in the very near future. Thank you once again.